Hello and welcome back to Dice Blenders D&D, The Realms of Telea. I will be your dungeon master, Mike Gramer, aka Moriarty. And today we will be seeing how our adventurers are doing in the third installment of our campaign. Last time, after managing to get through the wilderness and discovering some new things about each other and their mysterious traveling companion, Sarana, they made it to a small town of Teltin, where, upon entering the town, they were met with some very standoffish type people who didn't exactly welcome them with open arms. And after walking into the town, they encountered a woman standing on a fountain preaching about how outsiders are bringing false gods in, and that visitors should be reminded that they are just visitors and that the good people of this land should cling to the light. After pointing out Grizz, the lizard folk monk of the party, as an outsider and using him as an example, the halfling bard Harlequin decided that he would engage this woman in a battle of wits. After she attempted to cast several charming spells on Harlequin unsuccessfully, Grizz threw a dart past her into the fountain as a warning shot as she started screaming that they had tried to kill her, and now the town guards had begun circling and showing a bit more interest as to what's going on. With tensions rising, that's where our campaign starts today. What do you want to do, guys?
I'm gonna try and de-escalate the situation a little bit, 'cause I don't want too much ruckus.
As of right now, she's just standing on the fountain, like screaming about how you've tried to kill her. And the guards are beginning to circle in, and they're kind of like, hey, what's going on over there? And as they begin circling in, but they're and everyone else in the party obviously notices this. At this point, this woman is just shrieking for no reason, acting like she's been assaulted.
While all of this is going on, I notice it from my bench where I was reading my book, and I start to proceed to walk in as well.
Yeah, as you begin to walk up, you kind of walk through this crowd of, regular village commoners, and, a few of them seem to be a bit more standoffish, but some of them were really just there to watch the show. It seems like a small town where not a lot happens, so this is little bit of excitement has drawn them around, like, ooh, what's happening? What's going on here?
Um, I notice what's going on, and by just like the screeches of like the lady talking about how Grizz tried to kill her, I go to the guards and I try to deceive them by telling them that I work for the uh, leaders of the elves and we're here on a mission to stop evil. And we have a very important mission, and she was terrorizing um, my party members. And if they don't do something about it, then there's going to be problems with them and the elves.
Okay, you say that's a deception. Go ahead and make me a deception check.
19. I rolled a 19.
Sorry, I was rolling his insight,
Oh, you're good.
which he got a 10. So his eyes kind of go wide and he kind of steps back. And he's like, "Oh, I didn't see what happened, but there shouldn't be no trouble going on between no one. We don't want no problems with no elves nowhere, but you can't be coming into this town causing trouble neither."
That's fine. My party members will stay in check so long as your civilians do as well. By the looks of it, she is the one who's antagonized all of it. So I hope you're willing to do something about this lady.
As you say that, you hear a loud shout from a man that's somewhere in this town square. He kind of bellows out, and he's like, "Ariandar, that is enough of your nonsense." And as everyone turns to look, this older man, probably mid-50s, like black hair with a jet of silver through it, wearing red and white robes, long beard, holy symbol of Pelor around his neck, comes walking through the crowd, and he walks right up to this woman, and he's like, "This town doesn't need any more of your filth. You stop," excuse me, "stop trying to spread your poison amongst my people." And she kind of looks down at him, kind of the same daggers look that she gave Harlequin. And she responds with, "Sel, your acceptance is going to get the people in this town killed. Maybe it's time the Church of Pelor had new leadership." And he kind of stiffens up, and he goes, "Well, until the High Septum says so, this is my temple, and this is my town. And that'll be enough of you." And she seems to not want to challenge this guy directly. She just kind of like, does a little scoff, like, and she like hops down off the fountain and begins walking towards the other side of the town. After that, he would turn to probably Grizz, and he would say, "I understand that she can be a handful, but provoking her is not the best option. My name is Sel Solchant, High Priest of Pelor, and I run the temple in this community."
Well met. I am Grizz of the House of Yuz, and I only stopped her because she was casting spells at my companion.
"Oh, no doubt she is very crafty and uses a lot of backhand tactics to get her ways. After you have settled in, or when you felt comfortable, if you and your companions could come to the temple and speak with me, I have something I would like to proposition to you."
Before I hear all of this, I'm walking up behind you guys, and I see the leader of the town as he just proclaimed himself, and I'm just like, I hope there's no more problems for our group here, sir. For we work for the leader of the elves, and we are on a very important mission and have no time to waste. So any more time to waste is not going to go well with the elves.
He turns and looks to you and kind of like raises his eyebrow, and he's like, "Oh, I am not the leader of this town. I am the leader of its temple. I am the leader of the faith, and the people are my flock. You will have no
all right.
time wasted on my part, but threats, excuse me. I had some dental work done today, so if I tremble over my speech, I'm sorry." He goes, "But threats will not be taken lightly." He seems completely unfazed by your look, your wings. Like, he looks, one, really old, and like he doesn't care, like, about anything except,
I look at him with just a blank look, and I'm just like, it was not a threat for if you were to perceive it that way. Was my fault, I guess, but more so just telling you. We have a very important mission to go on, and we wish to not be slowed down.
"Well, if it won't slow you down too much, please come to the temple and hear my proposition when you get a chance." And he kind of just nods his head and turns around and shuffles off, his red cloak, red and white cloak, almost symbols of flames and sunlight. He just shuffles off towards this tallest building in the town, kind of off towards the side. And he just leaves you guys there. The the crowd in the center of town just kind of like disperses. Like some people still like shoot you some weird looks, but other than that, everyone just kind of goes back to their business and their different shops and trading and pushing their wagons around.
And I glimpse over at Grizz and Harley Quinn, and I just say, as long as you parted with me, I'll make sure nothing bad comes of either of you. So just try not to waste any more of our time, okay?
I was just about to say the same thing to Grizz, and I give him a wink.
I waste no such time.
Yes, just like that time you didn't waste in the forest.
You take that back.
Are you still giving him crap for that? I say as I walk up. Having been away for most of this interaction with a fruit in my hand, I purchased a fruit. I'm eating a fruit.
Ah, yes, fruit. That'll be very good for our journey. Where did you purchase this fruit? I would like to go purchase with myself.
Go ahead and mark off a copper piece for the fruit.
Well, there.
Do you?
Also, it was at that merchant stall over there, the farmer looking dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over that fruit as well.
Yeah, you walk over to this guy with this little fruit cart. He doesn't have like a stand there. He's just got this cart with different types of fruits on it, which is actually kind of odd because fruit's not terribly common in this part of the realms. But when you walk up to him, he's just an older man, kind of sandy brown hair, kind of like age wrinkles, sunburnt, looks like he works outside. And he's got like different like apples, like pears. He wouldn't have anything super citrusy, so no like oranges or lemons or limes. But he does have like apples and pears.
Does he have like basic fruit, or does he have like special fruits like dragon fruits and stuff like that? Like,
No, it's like basic stuff, apples, pears. I'm trying to think of more types of fruits, but I'm still medicated, so I'm trying.
sorry, I'm gonna grab an apple because I can just casually eat it while I walk around.
Yeah, absolutely. He is charging 1 copper piece per apple.
Yep, I enough. I'm gonna go ahead and buy one for everybody in the group except Sorrow because he already bought one. So I'm just gonna mark off 4 in total and give one to everybody.
Okay, yep, right
Yeah.
on.
Second one.
Well, thank you, good sir, madam.
Well, yeah, as you guys all kind of gather around this old man and his fruit cart, I guess it's time for the party to decide what we're gonna do. What are you guys gonna do? As you look around the main circle, you can see what's obviously the inn. You can see a small blacksmith shop, a leather tanning hide shop, and yeah, and of course you see the temple to Paylor. And just a few other like random little businesses, trinkets and bits and bobs and stuff like that.
Are there still people like in the square, like gathered?
They're not congregating anymore, but there's people moving around the square. This is like the heart of the town.
Oh, I'm gonna go back on the fountain and play my lute.
I would like to see what that monk guy wants at the temple, if anyone wants to join me.
Yeah, I'm gonna join you, but I want to stop at the blacksmith first. I want to just walk in and hand him my scythe and say, "Ah, hello, blacksmith. For I have a scythe crafted from the celestials, crafted in nothing but celestial gold and the finest leather and wood you could find. Is there any way you could sharpen and or clean it, good sir?"
He kind of looks at you very oddly. He's actually pretty young to have his own blacksmith shop. He seems to be early 20s. Dark black hair, very muscular and short. He kind of looks at you strange and raises an eyebrow, like most people do at most people in your group. And he's like, well, it's made of metal, isn't it?
It's not just metal, it's celestial gold.
Well, if it sharpens like metal, I can sharpen it. Be a silver piece.
I look at him with disdain because I'm very cautious about my scythe because it's a relic from my celestial time. And I'm just going to say, well, never mind. You're too expensive for me. And just back off. When in reality, he's not expensive. He's just very, very skeptical of him.
He just says, very well, good luck finding another blacksmith. Goes back to what he was doing. He seems pretty unfazed. Harlequin, you said you wanted to perform?
Yes.
Let's cause a scene, then perform. Yeah, if you want to perform, if you want to get up there and start playing, just go ahead and... Yeah, just give me a performance, because you don't have the entertainer background, do you?
No.
Yeah, so just go ahead and give me a performance check.
Oh, is that an ability check?
It'll be under your skills.
Oh, it's a skill check. Then I don't get to use lucky on it. I rolled a 1.
Yeah, as you pull your lute out and begin to play it, maybe from the travel, maybe because you're tired, maybe because you almost just got in a fight, your fingers just can't seem to find the strings, so you're like, ping, pong, ping, 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 and the townspeople don't really pay any attention to you, like, at all.
I just shuffle off and go with everyone else.
All right, so you catch up with the rest of the group, and where is everybody heading?
I nod to the group that the leader of the temple seemed to have something of most importance. This might be good for us to go check.
It seems Dragon Boy was ahead of you on that one. I'm ahead with him too.
All right. Well, why don't we catch up with him then?
Okay, so Tycho, as you enter the temple and your companions catch your heels pretty quickly, you walk in. It's not a large temple, but it's probably the biggest building in the town. And well, as you walk in, you don't see this man. You see a few what look like oh, come on, words. Acolytes, maybe students, and you see a few people at the pews praying, but you don't see him around anywhere.
I want to ask one of the monks or acolytes if they have seen a older gentleman that said we would meet him here.
One of them, a younger woman, she answers and she's like, "Oh, yes, Father Soulchant. His office is back this way. If you could just follow me." And she like leads you towards the back of the temple and down this small hallway. And then you come down this hallway and you see just a regular oak door that has the a symbol of the sun on it. And she says, "Well, it's right through here if you'd like to knock."
I thank her and then I firmly knock on the door.
as you knock on the door, it takes probably a good few seconds, and then you hear from behind the door, "Oh, come in." And if you choose to, when you swing open the wooden door, you see a very simple office. It's literally like wooden desk, wooden chair, holy books stacked up on the desk, a few parchments, and a bookshelf. And there seems to be like a curtain in the back that doesn't go all the way to the floor. And I'd say that even without a perception check, like you could see under the curtain that there seems to be like a small bed back there. Seems to be very, very humble livings. And this old man, Father Soulchant, as you've heard him called, is sitting at the desk. And as you walk in, he kind of puts his quill down and folds his hands. Welcome. I see you decided to come and listen to my proposal.
Well, I was interested in what you may have for us.
Very well. The woman that you encountered today, her name is Ariandar, a former student of mine. She was fairly gifted in the abilities that the Lord Palor gave her. But for some reason, about a year ago, it seems her intentions turned more malicious. She began having these ideas about how Palor's light should be a cleansing fire, and how this town has lost the light, and how the whole world has lost the light. Sounds like a real fanatic. And she's left the temple. She spends much of her time away from town. I don't know where. I had one of the young men from the temple follow her one day. And he told me that she met with a strange man, and he overheard them discussing something called the Light Finders, which I fear is a group of followers that she has recruited to overthrow the town and take control of it and instill her dogmatic ways. I've told the mayor of this, but he is a young and somewhat cowardly man and has not taken any action against her, and I have no control over the town guards. I have one paladin of Palor that protects this temple, and I cannot send him away.
Sounds like she's trying to use the name of this god for her own deeds.
Yes, I feel she has been corrupted by some outside force, but I'm not sure what. And although she was once a student of mine, and I still have great love for her, if she wishes to harm the people in this town through whatever force has corrupted her, I must do what I can to stop it. And you seem like a band of adventurers. And he kind of looks you all up and down, and like, you guys understand you're a weird freaking group. Like, you stick out. You've got a monkey man and a dragon man, and you've got a halfling who carries this strange onyx black lute, kind of rapier on his side, and a lizard man, which are super rare as it is. And then you have a woman who has permafrosted wings. So he's you guys are going to stand out wherever you go. So he's just like, well, you seem like a band of adventurers, maybe mercenaries. If I could perhaps hire you, the church has some funds for such things, for handling problems if they come about. If you could find more information, who she's working for, if she's working for anyone, who has corrupted her, and what her plans may be to try and take over the town. Because our town guard is not many.
Thinking to myself, I think about how I'm trying to redeem myself in the form of the Celestials and how I cannot let some lady who is using an actual god to deem terrible behavior. I just get this sudden urge that I have to help, but I don't actually make it noticeable. Like I kind of have a poker face on, and I look at the leader of the temple, and I just say, "This will take quite a bit of time out of our hands for our current mission. It's better be with the pay."
And as you say this, as an ASMR, since you were a child, you've had that whisper, that not quite a voice in the back of your head that's always tried to steer you towards the right thing. Even after you fell, the voice is still there, but quieter. And you get this feeling, this tingling in your spine, to where the voice knows and you know that this is something that that the voice, and I'm kind of air quoting here, but this is something that this sense that you have feels would be a great step on your path to redemption if you choose to take it. And especially since Paylor is very much known as a very lawful god, a very good god.
Yep, I have full expectations to actually take this. I'm just trying to like see if we can itch out like a couple extra some extra money or something off of him.
And that's why the voice is very quiet, because you still have that fiendish presence in you. That's
Yep.
Yes, well, we are a small temple, and we do not have the wealth of kings or nobles, but I can see you are taken care of. I can call in favors with a blacksmith to maybe commission you, something. I can combine the two services, but your work will be returned in payment. And he kind of like gives you the kind of feel of like you'll get what you earn. I'm not trying to stiff you, but I'm not going to give you a dollar amount if you come back and say, "Well, I can't find anything."
All right.
If you wish respect
And
or gold, Azrael, I shall chip in a few if you behave yourself.
it's not just gold that I look for, but a favor. You say you will grant us any favor?
I have favor with the merchants and tradesmen of the town. I may be able to get you a good deal, or maybe commission you an item from a leatherman, an artifact maker, a blacksmith. Now remember, this is a small town. We have not the mages of the large cities. To tell you the truth, I'm probably the most powerful spellcaster in this town, and I am a humble servant of our Lord Paylor.
All right, sounds good for me. I don't know about the others though. And I look over at the others to see how they feel about taking the quest.
Well, she tried to dominate me, and not in a good way, so I'm after her now.
Not even in the good way. How dare she?
I came here to study the surface world, so I guess I shall go.
I'm always down for an adventure.
I just want to help these people not get, taken over by corrupt priests.
Before we take this quest, I remember as Tako's talking about corrupt police and stuff like that, that we found a dead guard in the middle of the woods. And I turned to the temple leader and asked him if he knows anything about it.
We did have a young man go missing probably a week ago. He left the town on his own. It's a very strange thing to do. After he didn't come back for a few days, we figured he just flew to the capital. If it was him, I am terribly sorry. And I shall send the paladin or his squire to retrieve his body if there's anything left of it. But thank you for this news. And he kind of like nods at you, and you feel like you've gained a little bit of favor by like telling him that. And he's not even sure that this is like one of his people, but he's still gonna send his knight out to look for him.
Okay. And I asked him if he knows anything about like hooded black figures and black griffins.
Well, black griffins I've heard of, a strange mutation. I'm sure you've heard of like a snake with two heads or a lion that's all white or all black. The same mutation can happen in griffins. And he kind of runs over to his little bitty shelf and grabs this old dusty book off of it. And he lays it down and he flips through it. And as he's flipping through it, Azriel, what's your passive perception?
10.
Okay. I'd say you don't make out a lot, but as he's flipping through the pages, on at least one of the page corners, you see some kind of like infernal symbol, but it doesn't look like all the pages have it.
I do know the infernal language. Does that help?
Oh, then yeah. You basically see like it's an infernal symbol, but he's like I said, your passive perception's only like 10, so you don't get a good look at it, but you're just kind of like, "Oh, that looks infernal." Out of like the corner of your eye as he's flipping the book. But he opens it to this page and he's like reading. And he's like, Did the beast have red eyes?
Do we know that?
Yes, it very much had red eyes.
Yes, it did have. It had probably crimson eyes, as I would say.
Well, then that is no mutation by nature. That beast was corrupted. This cloaked figure must have been some kind of spellcaster, some kind of I'm sorry.
Good.
Some kind of spellcaster with access to the darker forms of magic. Sorry, my mouth is killing me.
All right. We might have to look further into that. We did defeat this robed man. He lies dead near the body. If you wish to collect his body as well.
Very well. If they are still there, then I will have the paladin and his squire bring the bodies back to see if I can find anything. But this town, as well as all towns, revolves around the inn, more specifically the bar at the inn. If you wish to find information, I recommend you start there. The people in this town usually only talk to me when it's time to confess the sins.
And a smile grows on my face as I say, the inn, you say? And I look over at Harley Quinn. Our bod loves inns.
That I do. Give me a little time and I can get some information.
And he just kind of like sits back in his chair and like unfolds his hands. He's like, well, if that is all, then I will leave you to your work, and you will be paid accordingly. And thank you for your time. And he just kind of like gestures to the door.
Oh, is Serana still with us?
She follows you everywhere you go.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna like turn to her and kind of just like take her aside and like whisper like so what do you think? Do you want to like continue to adventure with us and help us with this, or do you want me to see if this guy will protect you while we're out?
She kind of looks at you with like sheepish eyes, and she's like, well, I mean, I like traveling with you guys, and I learn a lot. I mean, if you don't think I'd be a burden, I'd like to come with you. But if you want me to stay in the temple, I understand.
All right. Well, I like having you along. Just remember what I said before about like making sure you protect yourself.
I will, no worries. And she just kind of like pats the quiver of arrows she has, and with the short bow slung around her back and the arrows kind of in a holster on her hip. She was like, I will. I'll be all right.
All right, I guess we'll funnel out.
Yeah, as you funnel out of the temple and back kind of towards the town square, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
You
To like look for the such.
Yeah, the inn is pretty easy to find. You see a small building with a sign out front that's got a hare on it, a rabbit, and yeah, it says the hopping hare, and it's just this regular, simple looking building.
What do you think? Time to go to the inn, or do we want to explore the town a little more?
I think we should fix this issue as soon as possible. So let's go to the inn, see if you can extract any information, and I'll go talk to the guards, seeing how they might fear me by the looks of it.
You guys do what you want at the end. I need a drink.
Okay, so who's going to the inn and who wants to go talk to the town guards?
I'll be talking to the guards.
I'm gonna go to the inn, and I have like a feature where I can like contact, like I have a criminal contact that can get me information.
I'm actually gonna take Cruz with me because he because of his heritage with being a knight from his town, he might have some sway towards the guards as well. That
So Azriel and Grizz are going to go talk to the guards together. I'm getting this right?
I am. I'm trying to get Grizz to come with me. See if you will.
I guess I will.
This is going to be fun. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do Azriel and Grizz first. Real quick, Harley Quinn. Just so you know, in a town this size, I would say that you would have to like write to your criminal contact. Like, this is a pretty backwater town. It wouldn't make very much sense for you to have a criminal contact here, considering you've probably never been here before. And this is it's literally like farmers, a blacksmith, and a priest. Like, that's what this town is.
Okay.
Yeah, the criminal contacts are, one, more useful and more realistic in the bigger cities or even bigger towns. This is literally just like a village, like a little bitty hamlet village. But if you wanted to find a way to send word to a criminal contact that you have in a city somewhere, then you can absolutely do that if you're looking for information.
Okay, I guess while they're doing that, I'll just like kind of uh, send off a message somehow to like find out more about the like the girl or like the activity going on.
All right, we'll do that in just a second. Azriel and Grizz. Which do you go up to, like the same guards you were talking to before? Or do you find some different ones walking around town to talk to?
Is there like an obvious captain of the guards or anything? Like something we'd pick up pretty quickly.
Yeah, the obvious captain of the guards is he would be standing outside of the biggest house, and he's just kind of like sitting there like eating an apple with a knife.
Yeah, he would be the best bet to go talk to.
Guess I'll do that then.
Yeah, as you approach him, he seems a lot more clean cut than the rest of them. He's just kind of sitting there, and as you approach, he kind of stiffens up. He doesn't stand, but he like stiffens his back and kind of like straightens his body to where if he needed to, he could pull his sword faster. And he's just like he sees you and he's like, "Well, hello there. How can I help you?" And he doesn't have the thick accent that the rest of the town seems to have. Kind of like the priest. He maybe didn't grow up in this place because the most people in this town seem to have that like thick southern accent.
As we walk up, I notice he's kind of on edge, and I say, "Stand out, guard, for there's no reason to be scared here. For we work for the elves, the leaders of the elves. We're on a very important mission, but along the way, we have noticed that your temple leader has requested us for a very important mission to stop somebody from soiling the name of the gods, specifically your gods. The lady that was in town earlier and rudely assaulted my party, and I'm going to point at Grizz, this lizard man here. By the way, he is of quite importance. He is a leader of the knights of his village. Very rare village, very powerful village. They were acquitted by our elves to come on this mission with us. We would like to know any information you have of this lady, where she lives, where she may reside, any hiding locations she has."
Interrupts Azrael. Because I am a knight, I'm not going to assume that I am the leader of the knights as not very honorable. So I'm going to correct you with that.
And
Whatever.
Azrael, I
Some-
definitely need a deception check for some of the stuff you just said.
Ooh, I rolled 12.
Yeah, I got a 19 plus this guard's wisdom. He kind of looks at you and he like raises an eyebrow again, and he's like, "Oh, well, I'm sure that this night. What is your name, sir?"
Yes.
"Sir Grizz, it is an honor to have a knight of your standing in our town. I appreciate if the elves," and he kind of like rolls his eyes, "sent you on this mission, ma'am. But this is not elf land. This is our land. If you wish to ask me something, ask it plain." And he seems to like he's like relaxes more. And he kind of like leans back on the steps he's sitting on and starts cutting this apple with a knife again and eating it, just kind of like if you wish something, ask it plain. And he's like smiling at you. Like it doesn't look like you offended him, but it looks, I don't know, he knows bullshit. Yeah, he just seems to see through a lot of what you're saying, and he's just not fazed by it. He's just like, "Very well, ask your questions."
Yes, and Azrael's seeing his hint of sarcasm and feels very she feels a bit attacked, and she tries to like flap her wings a little bit, her permafrost wings, and says, "I am but celestial, sir. I work for the gods that you seek or that you worship in this town. Why would you dare talk down to me like that? I can tell that you do not reside from this village, so I know you know about the elves. So why do you insist on disbelieving me?" And I'm also going to like flash my scythe to him to show him like the celestial gold on the scythe.
Yeah, so you say all this, and as you say it, he's looking you up and down very closely. And do you have your book? Do you keep it in a pouch?
Yes, I always have the book on me.
Is it in a pouch, or do you like? Can you see it anywhere?
I kind of have it. I have like a belt around my waist, and like the book can lock, and I just have it kind of like a rope tied around the lock, and it's just kind of like hanging off my waist belt.
And do you have any symbols or anything on the front of this book? Considering it was your master's spell book, did your master keep perhaps a symbol on the front of it?
No. There shouldn't be any like symbols on the outside, but he might be able to like notice that the pages are kind of like fleshy looking, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say something like that. Yeah, he definitely notices that it's not, the pages are leather and not parchment. I think he would definitely notice that. And he stands up this time, not aggressively, still kind of very relaxed. And he steps closer towards you. And he says, I don't know what celestials you say you work for, but it is not my God. And he kind of like looks at your wings, kind of takes half a step back and looks you up and down. If you feel insulted, then that's on you. I simply said to ask your question plainly. I do not wish to fight you, but if you cause trouble in my town, you will be removed. And he's very calm. Like, it's not aggressive. He doesn't puff up. He doesn't straighten up. He's just relaxed, very smooth voice talking to you. Like, if you have a question, ask your question. He is completely unfazed by what you're saying to him.
I look at him as he's circling around me, checking me up and down. I'm just like, yes, you may not have said it directly, but your bravado definitely shows it. And whether I work for your god specifically as a celestial or not, it does not matter, for I have been requested to work for him on this quest, which is the important part. So if you actually worship this god, you will work with us, I should say. I will take up your offer for questions, and as I have requested before, I would like to know her living arrangements and of any other information you know of this lady.
Well, I don't know where she lives. I know her name is Ariandar. She was a talented priestess of Palor, upcoming priestess. More than an acolyte, she passed her test and trials to become a priestess of the church. But about a year ago, she began acting strangely. Like I said, her living whereabouts I do not know, but if you want the dirt in the town, the Hopping Hare is the place to go. All I can do is try and keep the crowds calm when she comes spewing her filth. And it seems that, like, when he talks about her, like, he doesn't like her. Like, he doesn't like her at all, but she hasn't actually committed any crimes, so he can't do anything about it.
I'm going to ask him if there are any crimes for casting spells on civilians or newcomers to his village.
By the letter of the law, if no harm was done, no crime was committed. That is the way it is here.
Very well then, sir. Have a good day. I'm going to toss him a copper piece as we walk away.
He lets it fall to the ground in front of him, sits back down.
Good, turn around while it flips like I don't even notice it anyways and just walk away.
We can't hear you. I think.
Okay.
Oh, there he
I'm
is.
going to pick it up and throw the copper piece at Azrael's head.
Make a ranged attack roll. Jesus Christ.
Give me a second. $22.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a 22 hits Azrael, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't do any damage, but you do feel like this little copper piece like hits you in the back of the head, like.
One second.
And if he goes to turn around, I will drag him away.
I'm going to cast prestidigitation as I'm getting hit by this copper piece, or after I get hit by this copper piece, to create a very bright spark in front of his eyes to kind of like blind him like a flash bomb, and I'm gonna get prepared to like cast a Eldritch Blast. And as I'm preparing to cast this Eldritch Blast, as he's kind of like coming down from this blind, I'm just going to say to him, "You dare throw something at me, lizard man, after wasting so much of our time already. What is
Now-
wrong with you?"
At this point, this man is off the steps and between you with his sword half out of his hilt. And he's like, neither one of you may be citizens here. But as I said, when there is no harm done, no crime is committed. And he looks at you both with like daggers in his eyes. And he's much more aggressive now. Like, he looks like, keep it up and we're going to have problems. Like, that's the look he's giving you too. And he actually would say, take your petty squabbles outside my walls. I will not have it.
I'm just going to sit there and stare at Grizz to see if he stands down while I have an Eldritch Blast still prepared.
I will stand down. For now.
All right, I'll go ahead and stop the Eldritch Blast then.
Okay, so while you two were doing this, Harlequin was going to the Hopping Hare. Who else was going with him?
I'll follow him.
Me as well.
Okay, so you guys walk in to this inn. It's a 2-story building. The bottom floor is a decent-sized tavern. Long bar stool, all wooden furniture, shuttered windows. Not immaculately clean, but clean for a tavern. And behind the bar, you see a tall, kind of like grayish skin, half-orc woman, long black hair, small tusks kind of sticking out of her lips. Very tall, very curvaceous. And she's sitting there laughing with a couple of farmers, and they're like each drinking a beer. And they're just talking about the season and stuff like that. And one of them had a problem with wolves on his land, so a bunch of farmers got together and hunted them down and stuff like that. They're just having a conversation, but the woman behind the barkeep, this half-orc woman, seems to be the owner, if not the owner, then the person who runs this establishment.
I want to go up to and sit at the bar because it's been a while since I've seen another half orc like myself.
I'll sit next to him and, of course, order myself a drink, something on the warm side.
Yeah, unless you want something like top shelf, it's just gonna be like a copper feast for like a hot mead or like a hot ale. If you want like whiskeys or something, it's probably gonna be like 2 or 3 copper pieces.
I'll do. Do you do whiskey hot? I don't know. I don't know that kind of alcohol.
Yes, you can drink whiskey hot or cold. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Then I'll do that. I'll do. Would it be 2 copper?
Yeah, to get like a glass of whiskey would be about 5 copper. To get a shot of whiskey would be 2 copper.
Something I want to drink. So something smaller. I guess 1 copper for just a warm mead.
Okay. Yeah, if you mark off your coppers, she'll
Yep.
go and pour you something real quick and set it down. And she's, well, what can I do for you two today? And she's kind of got that accent, but it's not quite as harsh. She's got actually a very sweet voice. And Tycho, unlike most people, she recognizes that you're a half-orc, like, instantaneously. Like, most people have to at least take a second look, especially because of your draconic features and your small tusks. She seems to notice, like, right away your orc heritage. And she's, well, what can I do for you guys today? And she kind of looks at you, and she's like, well met. I see you're from the homeland.
Yeah, I left the homeland in search of histories of dragons because of my lineage.
I see that. I've met a few like you before. Their attributes weren't quite as extreme as yours are, but I've met men with scales and women with wings. I know that sometimes our ancestry can grant us special powers, and she kind of looks at your hands and sees your silver scales, and she just kind of like, oh, I've never seen that color before.
I'm not quite sure why, and this is why I'm trying to research it, but for some reason I've been born with silver dragon blood, even though they haven't been around for a while.
Yes, if I remember my reading correctly, quite a few species of dragons were wiped out during the Great Conflict, but perhaps ancestors of yours may have had a family with one of these dragons. Oh, she kind of like thinks for a minute, and she's like, yes, I remember a story telling me that some dragons could take human form. Very interesting. Well met just the same. Is there anything else I can do for you gentlemen today?
I want to ask her what she recommends food-wise.
Well, a tenderloin with a side of bacon, of course.
I would like to purchase that meal.
Yeah, I'd say because you have this rapport with her, she's probably only going to charge you like a copper for the meal. And if you say that the guys are with you, they'll probably also only have to pay a copper. Just because she doesn't see a whole lot of half-orcs and she feels this kinship with you almost.
My traveling companion next to me, I'll also pay for his meal if that's okay.
Oh, of course, no problem there. My name's Esme, and if you need anything, just holler my name. I'm gonna go get your plates ready. And she kind of hollers out, and she's like, Sana! And this younger girl, probably 14 or 15, kind of runs back from, like, behind the bar, like, runs around from the kitchen, and she's like, yes, Esme, you can go ahead and get these nice men some tenderloin and some pork belly going. Absolutely. And she like runs back to the kitchen, and she walks down to the end of the bar and pours herself another drink. But she will it doesn't take very long to get the food ready. Only just a few minutes. It seems that it's getting to be almost a mealtime, so she's already like prepping meals for when the next crowd comes in. But she comes back over to you, And she was like, your food will be out in just a minute. You guys need refills.
I look over to Saru and say to him that he can get as many drinks as he wants because I don't mind paying for him.
That's rather sweet of you, but I do have my own copper. I guess I'll kick that towards you if we have to. Have you seen the little one anywhere?
I come out of nowhere upon hearing that you're buying drinks with Serana in tow after I like sent off my little message, and I'm like, oh, I'll take some drinks.
Yeah, as you approach, Esme hears you, and she's just like, well, very well. What would you like?
I'll have a glass of whiskey.
No problem, coming right up. And she walks over and she grabs this bottle, not off the top shelf, but she just kind of like grabs this just regular glass looking bottle and kind of like puts it on the counter, and it comes down with a thud. It seems to be pretty heavy. She grabs a small like whiskey sniffer glass and pours you a glass of whiskey and slides it across the counter. Well, you're quite an odd bunch traveling through this town.
Yeah, circumstance seems to have brought us together, but that just makes it all the better story.
I see that. You guys some kind of adventurers?
I suppose you could say that, yeah.
What's the current adventure you're on? If you can talk about it. I'd like to know. It gets dull in the bar sometimes.
I look over to Harley and Saru to see if we should mention it to her or not.
This uh this witch in the middle of town, Ariane Dark, tried to dominate me with a spell, and now we're after her to like help out this the priest of the local church.
Oh, Sale? Such a nice man. You know, she doesn't call him Father Soul Chant. She just calls him by his first name, Sel. She's like, Sel's such a nice man. He cares a lot about his flock. And yeah, that Ariandar, I know who you're talking about. She don't come here much, because I kicked her out one time because she started preaching. This is a place for relaxing and for a traveler to rest his head. I don't need that business in here, but she does seem to be a nasty individual.
And so we're looking into that whole thing, but I heard there was in here, so I had to come check it out. Oh, do you mind if I were to play my lute in a little bit?
Oh, you can go ahead, sir. I love me some music just as much as anyone else. You ain't gonna go casting spells on the patrons with that thing, are you? And she kind of like eyes your lute and the glossy black, because it is a strange looking instrument, and you do have the look of a traveling bard. So she kind of like, she not aggressively, but she's just kind of like, do you actually cast spells with that thing without saying it?
Sorry, I'm not looking to cast spells on any of your patrons. If anything, it'll be soothing and relaxing.
Oh, very well. I like a good song as much as the rest. And I'd say at this point, a few more people start coming in, and she kind of hollers like, Sana, the rush is starting, sweetheart. Why don't you go ahead and start taking orders? And Sana runs back from the kitchen again. She's just like, very well, Esme. And she like grabs a little notepad and a quill and kind of dips it in ink and then runs over to a group of people who have just sat down. And yeah, I mean, it's not busy, but there are a few more people in the bar now.
Okay, well then I guess I'll finish my whiskey and then I'll play my lute.
Yeah, go ahead and make me a performance check.
I mutter to Tycho, did that halfling just down an entire glass of whiskey?
when you down the whiskey, you notice it's not very strong whiskey. It's got a good, like, oaky, like, hearty flavor to it, but it's not a strong whiskey.
Oh, I rolled an 11.
I mean, an 11's not bad, especially for, like, people who don't really hear music often, despite what they sing themselves. Your music is very foreign to them. Like, it's, you've traveled, so you know songs from different lands. Even if you can't speak the language, which I don't know if you can, but you may know Dwarven songs, or you may know Elven songs, or Orcish songs that you may have heard on your travels. So, like, the music's different. Like, you don't get any standing ovations. No one, like, cheers or anything. But it's like this, if you play something light and pleasant, it just kind of, rolls over the bar, and no one complains. It's a nice, relaxing thing.
I look over to Saru and ask him how his food is.
It's pretty good. Being a man who enjoys his meat, this is actually a well cooked pork belly and well cooked tenderloin. I have to say, props to the chef. Being an experienced chef myself, I do know that the char on this was quite well done.
Yes, it is very good food. Like, it seems that Esme and this barmaid of hers, Sana, they can cook. They can cook a good meal. It's pretty good. She would come back over to you again, and she'd just be making her rounds, and she's like, "Is there anything else I can do for you guys?" And I'd say, after the initial conversation, Grizz and Azriel would be coming in. They've probably got there right about the time that Harlequin started playing music.
I'll walk through the door, hear the great music, walk up to the bar. Give me the strongest thing you got.
She kind of she eyes you. She's like, "All right, I can do that." And she kind of walks over, reaches up on the top shelf, and grabs this bottle of clear liquid. She brings out a small glass, a little bit bigger than a shot glass, but smaller than a whiskey glass, and pours it in there, slides it over, and she goes, "That'll be a silver piece," and this glass is filled to the brim.
Very well.
What's your Constitution score?
Like my overall score or my bonus?
Your score.
15.
Yeah, no, with a Constitution of 15, one of these drinks is not going to intoxicate you, but when you drink it, it's strong. Like, it's a very strong gin that just kind of, like, burns all the way down. Like, this is some serious stuff, and a few glasses of this will get you quite tore up. And as you drink it, she's like, "Well, I assume you're with my friend here," and she kind of motions at Tycho. "My name's Esme. If there's anything I can do for you fellas, just let me know." And Azriel walked in with you, right?
As this is all happening, I'm walking in behind him, and I hear him order this drink. And I sit down next to him, and I flip her the silver piece, and I say to him, "Now, for your help with the guard, I will buy this drink for you." And then I flip him a second silver piece, and "I'll buy you one more, but don't get too drunk. We have a lot of work to do tomorrow." And then I'm gonna stand up and just walk away.
Yeah, she goes to say hello to you, and she's like, and you've walked away at that time, and she's just like, "Well, all right." And she looks back at Grizz. "Anything else I can do for you, sweetheart?"
Take that lady away, sure.
She she kind of laughs, and she's like, "Well, I'm afraid that's not something I can do. But if you'd like some good food or you have some questions about the area, I'm free to help you out there."
I think
And I
I'll
just
just enjoy the music.
I went to go to the bar to just listen to the music.
Yeah, so as you guys just sit there and you listen to the music playing for a while, it's relaxing and it's nice. Does anyone have a passive perception of over 13?
I do not.
I don't.
Nope.
I do not.
Okay. So yeah, unless you go around and talk to people, the murmurings of the crowd are just kind of, like a regular, somewhat busy tavern. It just kind of comes and goes, and it d- drolls in and drolls out. People eating and talking.
Can I ask her if she has other drinks that are not alcoholic, like water or juice or something?
She kind of snickers and she's like, "Well, I suppose that I can fetch you some water. We don't have much juice or anything here, but I'll fetch you some water real quick." And she kind of runs back to the kitchen and comes back with a glass of water and sets it in front of you.
Well, I appreciate it. I may be a half orc. I'm not that much of a drinker.
Well, some people just don't have the taste. But, don't have the taste for drinking, but you're willing to tie up with a lady like Ariandar? She's nastier than any whiskey I've got on my shelf.
Well, we can't just let her do what she wants and get away with it.
Oh, and she kind of leans in. She's like, "She got some new scheme or something. Usually she's just trying to get the people of the church to follow her and her new dogma that she's got, her strange, quite frankly, racist preaching she does."
We may believe that she's corrupted in some way and trying to corrupt others as well, and I, for one, don't want to stand for that.
Well, you didn't hear it from me, but I seen her talking to the blacksmith the other day, and she handed him what looked like a purse. Now, I'm not much one for gossip, and she kind of like gives you a wink, but I'm fairly sure I saw her hand the blacksmith a purse, and what a priestess would be doing with a blacksmith, I do not know. But it seemed odd to me.
Well, I appreciate this information.
"Oh, no problem, hun." And she goes, at this point, the tavern is very busy. The bar's very busy. So at this point, she's running around with Sana, taking orders and stuff. And unless you call out for her, she just kind of leaves you to your food and drinks.
I'll wrap up my song and then go back over to Tycho and Saruo.
Yeah, as you
Yeah.
walk back over, like I said, the bar's super busy and crowded now. And there's a lot of loud talking and murmuring. But it is starting to get late. Most of these people had just finished their workday.
Grizz is with us at the bar, right?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. I want to ask him if he learned anything while talking to the guards.
Learn that Azrael's full of himself, or full of herself.
What else is new? But other than that, nothing new.
Nope. Said the best information would be here.
Well, we learned her name.
We already knew her name.
Did we?
Yeah. Cell, Father Soulkeeper, or yeah, not Soulkeeper. Is it Soulkeeper? I can't remember my own people's names.
Chant, I think it is.
Soul Chant. That's what it is. Cell Soul Chant. Ah. Yeah, no, Cell, Father Soul Chant, told you that her name was Ariandar and she used to be a student of his.
Well, I think we should rest here for the night, and when we wake up, we should go ask the blacksmith a few questions.
Yeah, so if you call Esme over and ask her for rooms, she's got double rooms, which are 2 silver apiece, and they sleep 2 people. And she's got 4 rooms available.
I look over to Saru and Harley and say, do y'all want to share a room?
Well, which of us do you want to share with?
You said one of them sleeps too, right?
All the rooms, she has 5 rooms total. One of them is already taken. The 4 she has left are double rooms, so they each sleep 2.
Well, my character is going to be taking a room to herself, so I'll just pay the full silver for myself.
Ron, I want to bunk together.
The girl seems quiet.
Oh, sorry. My bad. She's Harlequin asked that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she yeah, that's fine. I don't have any money to help pay for it.
Oh, that's no problem. I'll pay.
Okay, then yeah, I can bunk with you. So if you call Esme over, then you can just pay for the rooms. She says it's a silver for the room, another silver if you'd want laundry service, and she would say, "Oh yes, to use the bath is another silver. So the room, the laundry, and the bath, if you wish the second 2, would be a total of 3 silver. If you just want the room, it'll be 1."
Would the room itself be 1 silver and then 2 silver for each of the additional amenities for each person in the room?
No, so if like per room, so if you got like if for 1 room and then laundry for that room and then the bathing for that room. So it'd be 3 silver total for 2 people to have a bed, a bath, and their clothes washed.
Oh, it's 3 silver. Okay, I'll just remove 2 more silver then. Hold on.
I'm willing to put up for the 3 silver for me and Tycho.
Yeah, I'll pay 3 silver
3
too.
Grizz has his mic turned off again.
My bad. I'll just pay for the 1 silver because I don't need a bath or clothes wash.
You nasty.
I'm a lizard.
He just molts to get rid of it.
He literally lives underwater. But yeah, you guys go ahead and do that, and you see that like as the dinner crowd starts moving out, you see 2 gnomes walk in. What looks like a man and a woman, small stature, shorter than Harlequin. Both of them have very bright colored hair. One of their hair is like pink, and the other one is like closer to red than pink. And they just kind of walk in, and Esme's like, "Oh well, I see you showed up for your shift. Just so you know, we've got close to a full house tonight." And the male one's like, "Oh yes, very well, very well. We'll have it all in order. We'll start heating the water and getting the laundry going and all that." And it seems like these 2 are the ones that handle like the laundry and heating water for the baths and stuff at night, so that Esme and Sana aren't working 24 hours a day. And they just kind of like shuffle off to do their thing, and you guys can go up to your rooms. And if you put on, because each of you should have an extra set, it comes with the starting gear in your inventory of traveler's clothes. So it's basically like an extra set of clothes that you guys can have. And if you set your clothing outside of your door overnight, the gnomes will come and pick it up and launder it. And they will bring, there is big wash tubs in your room, one at the foot of each bed. Not really privacy, so you'll have to like bathe in front of one another if you want to, unless someone wants to leave the room. But they'll bring and they'll fill those tubs up with hot water, and they're pretty quick about it. Like, they seem efficient, and you'll see that both of them will like cast you. If you watch them while they're working, sometimes they'll cast like minor enchantments and stuff to make their work easier. But it's a very comfortable stay. The beds aren't, like 5-star hotel quality, but it's a soft bed, and it's a place to lay your head, and a hot bath if you want one.
I'll just kind of take a walk around and let Serana like go first and just kind of wander.
Yeah, you can just wander around, and Serana greatly appreciates that.
Such a gentleman.
Yeah, you come back a little bit later, and she's like changed into some like a different set of clothes, basically just like some short pants and like a tunic, like a nightshirt. And she was like, when you walk back in, she was like, "Well, I think I'll go sit by the fire in the tavern while you clean yourself up. Thank you." And she kind of like skips out the door, leaving her bow and her dagger on her bed.
So, there's no privacy for when we bathe, huh?
Doesn't look like it. I'm not worried about it. I've
I,
already got my whole chest out whenever I'm battling. I don't care what you say.
I, um, I, I think I'm good for bathing tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, like, some people aren't that comfortable with it, but in like a little country bumpkin town like this, they don't really have like a bathhouse, so there's not a whole lot of room, so the tubs are just there in the room. And if you let the gnomes know that you're finished bathing, the male will come in and cast a spell, and the water will just disappear out of the tub, and it'll be dry again.
What else is in the room other than like the beds and the tub?
Each room has 2 beds, 2 night tables, 2 tubs, and a very small like foot locker at the end of the bed, and that's about it. It's very simple, like pillow, blanket, sheet, and each room has a window between the 2 beds that looks out to the outside of the town, not towards the courtyard.
take my bath, I'm just going to. Are there any like chairs in the room?
Oh yeah, I guess there would be like a chair on each side of the room as well.
I'm gonna grab the chair and just kind of position it in front of the window so I can look over the town to see if I can catch this lady walking around while I'm just scrolling through my book.
Make a perception check.
While he's doing that, I will have gone straight to bed, basically. So I would be up sooner than the rest of them.
I rolled a 10.
Okay, yeah. With a 10, as you're looking out, it's dark. It's kind of open country. This town is kind of like on flat land. It's not like up on a hill or like down in a valley. I mean, after a certain point, once the torches of the town, there I go stumbling over my words again. Once the torches in the town's light seems to fade, it's really hard to see anything. Like, you think you might see shadows moving out there, maybe a wild animal every once in a while. Okay. Yeah, so you can see in like shades of gray out to a certain extent. I'd say with that, like, you might see like a wolf run across a field, something like that. I'd say you don't see any humanoids, but there is some wildlife that you see out in the fields in shades of, black and gray with your dark vision.
Well, if you two want to bathe, I'll just leave the room and maybe go get a little snack before bed. I say this as I look over at Saru and Harley.
That room.
We're in different rooms.
Now I know that.
You knew that when we told you could only bunk with one of us.
Well, excuse my confusion then.
Well, as you all settle in and you bathe and set your laundry out if you wish, and unless any of you have something specific you would like to do, we can go ahead and jump to the next morning.
All right. Well, I'm gonna finish my bath, get dressed, and make sure go get Serana. Then let her know that we can go to bed.
Okay, yeah, she is just sitting in front of the fire. You see the female gnome down in the tavern. She's folding laundry. And Serana's just sitting by the fire, kind of looking in the fire back and forth. And you come and get her, and she's like, "Oh, okay." And she like runs up and crawls into bed and falls asleep.
I guess I'll just take a bath and go to bed as well.
So as you all go to bed, it's quiet. This little town in this field, not a lot goes on. Everything's closed up for the night. And it's actually a very comfortable, peaceful night for everyone except Azriel. Azriel, as you drift off to sleep, you begin to dream. And you dream of the heavens, of Mount Celestia. Even though you've never been there, when you were younger, you learned all about it. And that voice, that feeling in the back of your head that sometimes speaks to you is stronger in this dream. And it almost whispers, "You can find the way." And the dream twists and turns, and you're standing in front of a familiar face. A human man, dark hair, a scar over his left eye. As he's teaching you how to channel magic from the realms of Batar, also known as the Hells. As you watch, almost out-of-body experience, your own schooling, you watch yourself become corrupted. You watch your halo dull in its shine. You watch your vibrant wings go from a bright white to almost a gray. and then a vision. You see a set of wings falling through the sky, just the wings. You see a bright halo turn black and catch fire. You see the world twist and move around you, and then you see a great staircase, impossibly high, so high you can barely see the top. As you stand at the bottom of it, the voice in your head says, "Every journey starts with the first step." And you have all completed a long rest.
Hell yeah, I'm not exhausted anymore.
So as you wake up, if you rise at different times or such and such, as you walk downstairs, Esme, this half-orc woman, tall, dark, tall with like grayish, like a tint of gray to her skin, long dark hair, somewhat curvaceous. Even people who wouldn't regularly be attracted to a half orc, like she's a very attractive woman, especially for like this community. Like even with her orc features, she's very pretty, a very pretty woman. And she just is a ray of sunshine in the morning. And as you walk down the stairs at different times, she greets each of you individually. She now knows your names, even you, Asriel, who didn't interact with her when you come downstairs. She's like, "Well, good morning, Asriel. I have breakfast laid out." And there's like on the bar, like a almost like buffet. She's got like eggs, of course, pork, different breads. And the gnomish lady sets one more pan up on the bar, and she's like, "Well, all right, Esme, we're off now." And she kind of like scuttles out the door. And Esme's like, "Thank you very much." And she's like, "Come, have some breakfast, have some breakfast." And yeah, you have a whole breakfast waiting for you when you come downstairs, and she greets each of you very happily.
As May is telling me good morning, I'm just gonna say to her, thank you, innkeep. I appreciate your hospitality quite a bit, unlike most of this town has given me so far."
Well, these people ain't used to too many travelers. They didn't take too kindly to me when I first arrived, but I'm just from up the road a few days, so what can you do?
Yes, it's very understandable. Well, I hope the best for you. I hope your inn prospers, and I'm gonna tip her an extra silver piece.
Oh, well, I appreciate it very much, ma'am. And she kind of like nods her head and smiles at you. And she actually, when Sana passes by, she'll like flick her the silver piece. She's like, "Buy yourself something pretty, dear." And Sana's like, "Thank you, Esme." And she just kind of keeps going and prepping the food and everything.
Um, and also as I'm going downstairs, because my character tends to wake up like at the break of dawn, because her storyline is just, or her way her story is playing out is she just kind of tries to make as much time as she can. So she tries to make use of as much sunlight as she can. So she wakes up as early as possible, and she's gonna notice that Grizz woke up at the same time, if not earlier than her. And she's just gonna walk up to Grizz and say something along the lines of like, I see you have awoken early today. That is very good. It seems you are turning a new leaf on completing our mission."
Getting them to make sure you don't do anything reckless.
Me, reckless? Ha! I've had to solve two of your issues so far now, haven't I?
Asriel, as you awake, the echoes of this dream are still in your head. And as you are talking to Grizz, you don't hear the voice, but you just feel that presence, almost like that push of like, you know, like begin your journey. Take that first step. You just get that feeling that something is trying to communicate that to you, and you almost get the feeling that this voice wants redemption for you.
All right. Well, after I make my scolding remark there, I'm just gonna bite my lip and say, "Well, nonetheless, very good. We will forget the past, won't we? And move forward from here as long as you are willing to not waste any of our party's time anymore.
I won't if you don't.
Very well, sounds good to me. And I'm going to reach out my hand for like a friendly handshake.
I'll accept it.
Aw, we're making friends. So as you guys walk downstairs, you're greeted with the same thing. And yeah, you guys can eat breakfast. It's part of the cost of the room, so she doesn't charge you anything extra. And yeah, you are free to do as you wish. I believe you said you wanted to go see the blacksmith.
Before we leave to go see the blacksmith, I wanted to leave a piece of gold at the bar for the innkeep for being such a lovely lady.
Yeah, if you choose to just hand it to her while she's there, she kind of gives you the same, thank you very much, and she tucks it into a pouch, and she's like, we appreciate you, and if you ever need anything, you just come let Esme know.
Well, I thank her for the stay, and then I leave to go to the blacksmith.
Yeah, so is everybody going to the blacksmith?
After I've gotten a big full plate of food, yes.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, going to the blacksmith, you said there's a farmer in town, right?
What's that?
You said there was a farmer in town, right?
Oh, there's farmers all over the place. This is where they do business. This is where they trade.
Are there any like animal farmers?
Yeah, that's there's a few different people. You see in this town, it's very much like almost like a commune. Like the guy who has cows trades his beef and leather for pork and vegetables and like stuff like that. There is money exchanged, but you see that a lot of if you watch the townspeople, a lot of their business is done in bartering. Like the beef farmer, the cattle farmer will trade leather to the leather maker for gold, and then the leather maker could trade clothes to the pig farmer for bacon. Like it's very much like a commune. Like it's this is what I have and I'll trade you for what you have type of thing. But there are all types of different farmers.
Well, knowing how I have already stopped at the blacksmith and told him he was too expensive for me, when that wasn't actually the case, I don't think it's going to be in the best interest for me to go because it might cause some conflicts possibly. So I'm just going to go walk around while they're talking to him to the farmers in town to warn them about the wolves that I spotted last night and to give them any like hints or tips to deal with it.
Okay, awesome. We'll come back to you in a second. Everyone who is going to the blacksmith, is that everyone else?
I am.
I am.
I'll go.
Okay, as you walk in, small blacksmith's hut, younger guy, darker tanned skin, looks like he's already been working for a while. He kind of walks in, and he's, hello there, what can I do for you?
Yes, I just came here for a few questions, if you have the time, my good sir.
As long as I can work while I talk, questions don't make money, my friend.
That's fine with me. I just wanted to ask you, have you talked to the one priest lady that has been causing a ruckus in the town square yesterday?
His eyes kind of narrow, not in like a menacing or aggressive way, just kind of like, like who told you that type of thing. He's like, I talk to many people in this town. I'm the only blacksmith. Anything specific you're asking?
Well, I had a reliable friend tell me that she gave you something? A pouch of some sort?
Money. I work for money. And he doesn't say it in like a dickish way. He's just kind of like I'm a tradesman. Like I work for money. When people give me money, I make them stuff is kind of the message she's trying to get across.
Normally, I would believe this, but given the history of our friend and question, I have to believe it may have been something else than just money.
He kind of gets offended. Like he kind of gets offended. He's like, well, takes a bold man to call someone a liar to their face, but I can assure you she gave me the money. She commissioned me for a job, and I completed it. I do not like the woman or her teachings, but I am a widower with 4 children, and I make money where I can. And he seems pretty offended that you basically called him a liar to his face.
Step up at this point and just say, okay, I'm sorry my friend called you out like that, but we do need if you would be able to tell us like possibly where like what she commissioned from you, we could pay you for that service since you apparently need the money.
Well, if you guys were to commission me for a job and someone came along asking what you got, would you want me to tell them your business?
We've got nothing to hide that if you were to do that, I wouldn't see a problem with it.
He just kind of like looks down. Well, this is going to sound terrible of me, but I've made my coin, and I'm not going to lie, the job worried me a bit. And his eyes kind of like dart around like he's looking for something. And let me roll a couple things here. Yeah, after his eyes dart around, he leans in close to you and he like kind of whispers, she commissioned weapons, swords, spears, a couple shields. Not my usual job in a farming town, but I studied in the city and I know how to make it. I gave her an outfit for quite a few men, and I ain't seen no one in this town wearing it and none of the guards. Like I said, I don't like trouble. I don't like her. But I have 4 children to feed.
We all do what we must. I can understand that. Definitely sounds like she's definitely up to something involving the weaponry you made.
Well, this might get me in her bad side, but I can tell you that she showed up with a wagon at night to pick it up. She rode southwest out of town on the wagon. I don't know where she was going, but I know she was back by the next day, so it wasn't too far. Now,
Then south. I was gonna say then southwest is where we should head.
Sounds good to me.
well, if you don't mind, I'd like to get back to work, and if you don't mind keeping our conversations between us, I don't want my talking to you to hurt my business, but I can't lie, what she did does worry me.
Your secret is safe with us.
I'm gonna give him a gold piece to show that I was good on my word.
I also want to give him a gold piece to apologize for my rudeness.
As you hand him the gold pieces, he says, well, thank you
He made
very
no offense
much.
to me, and he's already been paid for service, so I will not be paying him.
He says, well, thank you very much. And after you hand him the 2 gold pieces, he kind of like doesn't bring his hand all the way up, but kind of like on his hip, like points in a direction, kind of west. And he was like, that way.
So with the information that we have now, we should probably go in the direction she was heading.
If that's what you want to do, just let me know.
That seems like a good idea. Oh, we have to go find Asriel.
But
We
do
should
we have?
probably let them know.
What was that?
We have to go find Asriel before we head south.
Azrael, did you walk off very far?
I just walked around to the farmers to warn them about the wolves and stuff.
Oh, yes. As you approach, you see 2 farmers sitting there with their little horse-drawn carts, and they're just sitting there talking to each other. And you can just walk up to them.
Hello, sirs. Good day. For I have come to you with not so great news. For I was at the inn last night, and I was staring at my window, watching over the town, when I have noticed something but wolves worming around. I just came to wish to, how you should say, warn you of the wolves and your possible stock.
One of them kind of looks at you, and he's like, well, thank you. Yeah, we've been having some trouble with them. Can you just point to the direction where you saw them?
Point in the direction of which they were, and I'm going to tell them, like, a good tip that might help is what we did while we were traveling through the woods is we went out and caught a bunch of squirrels and used them as bait for the wolves. You could probably do the same with one of your livestock that you don't mind losing, or you can go collect squirrels for yourself. But it could be a very good bait for a nice trap.
He kind of looks at you, and he's like, well, we got our ways of dealing with them. A wolf hide will fetch a pretty penny, so we'll probably snare them, but appreciate your tips, ma'am.
All right, thank you very much. Have a nice day, sir. I'm just going to walk off.
Yeah, so you just walk off and meet back up with the party.
Yep.
So you guys are going to head off in that direction?
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Okay, so you guys head off in that direction. And you walk for, on foot, I'd say, maybe 2 hours. It's still like mid-morning because you guys were up pretty early. And you start to see some trees out in the open field and stuff like that. And you crest this hill, and you see what looks like an encampment. And it's nothing big, nothing grand, kind of set into a small valley. You see several tents sitting around. And just 1 second. You see, from where you approach, several trees spread around, several tents. And from where you are now, you can see what looks like a large sand pit. You see some training dummies, but without any perception checks or sneaking around, this is all you can see for now. Oh, and there is a large catapult Looks like it's been hand built, sitting behind one of the tents.
Could she be planning to siege the town?
It does kind of look like a small bandit camp. This is a little worrying.
Sounds like that purifying light is going to be met with blood.
As you guys are looking around, if you wish to make a perception check, you can. But I'd say as you look around more, you see that this camp is actually quite large. And there are, as you peek around the trees, not getting too close to be detected, you see several more people standing around, clad in leather armor, would look like newish swords or spears in the sandpit, practicing against the dummies. A few of them seem to be working on one of the catapults over on the other side of the camp. One of them seems to be tending to horse harnesses, but you don't see any wagons. But the horses have harnesses, and there are horses spread around. Different tents, ramshackle, made from whatever material they could find. And I'd say about 200 feet, 250 feet away, you see a large red tent with a man and a woman standing in front of it.
Do we notice at all if it's Ariandor?
I'd say like you can definitely make out that it's her because she has like the black and red robes, and she's standing there talking to a man in front of the tent.
It appears we've found our culprits, boys. Do you wish to take this as we could catch them off guard and take an attack of opportunity on them, or we can walk in peacefully and try to talk our way out, see what's going on?
I'd rather utilize my own ability to get in and listen in before we do anything.
I think the little show from yesterday, she's not going to be too friendly to us just walking in.
Have Saru sneak around towards the back of the red tent to make sure she can't escape while we go for our early attack.
Just so you guys know, from what you can see from where you were at, what you can see and count, there are 9 of these different men and women working on the catapults, the horse harnesses, practicing in this large sand pit that they've built. And that's not including her. So there's her and 9 other people that you can see.
Also not to be with them as well, but trying to recruit them.
These guys are all wearing like matching leather armor and like working on siege equipment and fighting. I'd say if you have an intelligence of 10 or higher, you could tell that these people have probably already been indoctrinated.
Well, I've got intelligence of 8.
I got 12 intelligence.
But yeah, no, if you guys want to sneak around, if you want to go talk to them, whatever you guys want to do, man, just let me know.
We need to find a way to thin their numbers. Otherwise, we're going to be in for quite a battle.
Well, guys, while you make that decision, why don't we go ahead and take about a 10-minute break, if that's fine with everybody, so I can medicate my very sore mouth.
Sounds good
Sure.
to me.
Sounds good.
All right, everyone watching, we'll see you back in about 10 minutes. Yeah, everyone go grab a drinky and a bathroom break, and we'll be back in just a moment. The intermission screen is not completed, sorry.
Secure.
Ah. Okay, welcome back. Sorry about that. The break took a little longer than I expected. But where we left off, the party had just happened upon the camp described, or not described, but the camp hinted to by the blacksmith in town, where 9 men and women seem to be training, working on different siege weapons and prepping different horse harnesses. And across the camp at the large tent, a figure that appears to be Ariandar speaks to a man in front of a red tent. What will you do?
Well, look at the group and say that I can sneak out into the woods and cast prestidigitation to make kind of like a time bomb. It's not going to do any damage to the woods, but it's just going to cause like a very loud noise to try and get at least some of them to leave the camp.
You're not actually in the middle of the woods.
I can set it to go off by the time I get back or something.
You're not actually in the middle of the woods. There are just trees in this area. This is kind of like in a very shallow valley, but there are no like thick forests around this
that
area.
diversion could create a window for us to attack from the front.
It doesn't sound like a terrible idea.
Me and Grizz, being the more stealthy, able ones, could definitely take points where we would make sure that our quarry doesn't get away.
Yeah,
Now I can.
Okay, sorry. What I was saying was there are no large wooded areas around you. There are like trees and stuff around, but this is pretty much grasslands with the occasional tree here and there. There is no like thick forest nearby.
Well, I can try to sneak a distance away. I don't know how well it'll work.
Yeah, you guys just let me know what you want to do, and we can go from there.
We can also have Saru like sneak around to the back of the red tent to stop this chick from being able to escape, because he can just grapple her if need be.
It felt good grappling a griffin. I don't know if it's going to feel good grappling a woman.
what if she's an evil woman?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Easier to suplex.
You're right.
Just grab her by the foot and drag her around. It'll be funny.
So you guys gonna try and sneak around? Are you gonna barge in there? Is there gonna be a diversion?
I think
I could
good.
I could also try to like disguise myself as a merchant because I do have a disguise kit, and like maybe I don't know, or disguise myself as something, whatever you guys think, and maybe I could create like a diversion while you guys get like in a more like a better position.
Could it be possible for Harley to disguise himself like the people in the camp so he could act like one of them?
Most of them appear to be humans, or at least human size. There may be a few half orcs or half elves or something in there. You haven't spotted any halflings, so yeah, and they are all wearing basically like matching sets of leather armor. So I don't know if a disguise kit could copy that.
So I think it might be best if I just try to sneak a good distance away and use prestidigitation.
Or you just walk in there, guns blazing.
You know what?
We could
Could
just
I
divide it instead and be
throw
easier.
a fire bolt at the tent.
Holiday Hoobie, what now?
Can I throw a fire bolt at the tent?
Yeah, pick a tent.
Is it fireball or glittering whatever?
Just a cantrip firebolt.
Can I cast mage armor on myself before we do all of this?
I want to throw a firebolt at the big red tent.
I can tell you right now it's out of range.
Damn.
Well, if no one else has any ideas, then Grizz is probably just going to start walking into the camp.
Well, I offered up the idea of dividing and conquering by trying to set up a diversion with the prestigious.
In a straight line, the big red tent's 150 feet away. I hit the wrong button.
And I try to sneak up and then try to throw one.
You want to sneak down like this side of the camp? Oh crap! I'm not sharing the screen.
I'm watching your stream, but yeah.
Better now. Oops. Anyways. So, do you want to sneak or?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to sneak.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a stealth check. What's the range on Firebolt?
Noticing him do this, can I just prepare an Eldritch Blast to attack the guy closest to me?
You want to have
after I cast Mage Armor?
You basically want a readied action.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the condition of your readied action? Is it if someone sees him, if someone attacks him?
Can I do it for when he casts his bolt or if somebody sees him?
Yeah, either one of those. So when he lets the firebolt off, you're gonna shoot an Eldritch Blast.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me that stealth roll.
Also, Firebolt has 120 feet range.
Okay, so that means you would have to get... If you want to sneak around the side, then...
A quick question. I'm noticing on the stream overlay it says that I still have exhaustion, but I took it off my sheet. Is there something glitching out?
Sometimes the D&D Beyond bot doesn't update very fast. It's just like that sometimes. I think it's still in beta.
Oh, okay.
If you want to sneak around the side of the camp, it's probably going to take you about 50 to 60 feet of movement, roughly, to get in range if you're coming up and around this way. Because you can't really sneak through the camp without being detected because you'll walk right through their sand pit. But go ahead and make me the stealth roll.
I rolled a 10.
So, big boy here rolled a natural 20 on his perception check. So as you start moving... Oh, I'm being slow. As you start moving around, I'd say you'd get to about here, and a twig snaps under your feet, and this guy here yells out, "Hey, who are you? What are you doing?"
And this is where I cast my Eldritch Blast, right?
Yeah, per your readied action, you said if someone spots him. So which person are you hitting? I'd say this person right here would have cover because of this large tree, but you could still hit the person that saw him.
Yeah, I'll just hit the person that saw him.
Oh, BKB, go ahead and make a ranged attack roll.
I rolled a 10.
That does not hit. So you let off this Eldritch Blast, and it misses.
Having some rough rolls tonight.
Yeah, we are. Gotta make up for the good rolls last game.
At this point, I am going to need everyone to roll initiative.
Clickety clackety, you about to get attackety.
Well, I guess I should say that while all this was happening, as you guys were talking and deciding what to do, you did see this nice lady here walk over and get on a horse and ride away.
Unfortunate.
So great. Target's gone while we were talking.
Ezreal rolled a 13.
All right, give me 1 second on those initiative rolls, guys.
Yep.
All right, Azriel, initiative 13.
13.
Fantastic. Grizz, initiative.
Dirty 20.
Tycho.
I got 7.
Saru.
18.
Harley.
19.
And I will roll for Sarana. Who got an 8. Oh boy, here we go. So up first is this fella man here. And he is going to come on the other side of the training dummies, 5, 10, 15. And he is going to shoot a light crossbow bolt at Tycho. Do. Does a 14 hit?
My armor class is 16, so no.
Okay, so as he lets out this ding, he shoots this crossbow at you. You manage to move out of the way, but he yells out to the rest of the camp, "We've got someone sneaking around!" And at this point, Grizz, it is your turn, but you start to hear murmuring from all around.
Murmuring. Lovely. Okay. I am going to... I'm going to move my 40 feet towards the closest enemy.
The closest enemy would be the guy that's behind the tree in a direct line. But you can go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and get to about here on the backside of these training dummies, but you can't quite get to him.
I will use a key point to activate Step of the Wind and use my dash action as a bonus action.
Okay, with that, you can 5, 10, 15 get around to here. You are in the sand pit with these 4 other people.
Alrighty. I am going to make a melee attack against him.
OBKB, roll your attack.
Does a 12 hit?
Just enough to hit, actually.
Hell yeah. 5 damage.
So you reach out with this unarmed strike. You come out, kind of run up to this guy real fast before he has a chance to react yet, and you punch him right in the chest. And how much damage did you say you did?
5.
He kind of recoils back and gets ready his sword to swing back at you. Anything else?
That'd be it.
Up next, it's this fellow right here, and he is going to attack you with his scimitar. That is a 12 to hit.
That does not hit.
Yeah, so he reaches out to slash at you with this scimitar. You and your quick footwork, even in the sand, you manage to duck out of the way and kind of spin around. But, I don't know how long I had my sound turned off there. I'm sorry, but you he swings a scimitar at you and you manage to duck out of the way, keeping good footing in the sand. Up next, from behind you, you hear a tent flap open, and stepping out of it, another one of these bandits. These cult members, if you want to call them that, these followers of this Ariandar. One of them comes right up behind you to make an attack. That's a 22 to hit.
Who is that again? Sorry.
22 to hit.
Oh yeah, that hits. Sorry.
Seven damage as you're engaged with this guy. As you dodge his blow, another one comes up behind you and slashes you across the back with his scimitar.
Alright, not fair, but I'm down. I mean, I'm down to fight.
Harlequin, you are up next.
All right. All right. Well, I guess I'll use my movement to get as close as I can to the action. And I guess if I could be like within eyesight of Grizz, possibly, but if not, that's okay.
You could get to about there. You can kind of like see around the corners of the trees. You could see probably part of Grizz and the guy he's fighting, but you wouldn't be able to see the guy that snuck up behind him from there, behind this large tree.
All right. Would I be able to shoot the guy that's in front with my crossbow or no?
Yeah, I'd say that the guy standing in front of Grizz you could get a shot off at.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot him with my crossbow.
All right, go ahead and make me a ranged attack roll.
18.
18 hits. Roll your damage.
9.
Wowzer, 9 damage to this guy. As you kind of peek around the tree, you let off this bolt. Think it shoots into and hits him square in the chest, and you just see him like clutch his chest like as he like spits up blood onto Grizz and just falls in the sand.
All right, and then as my bonus action, I'm gonna yell to Grizz to like shake himself off and kick that other guy's ass.
Bardic inspiration for Grizz.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right. Saru, you are up next.
Alrighty. So I'm still like way far out. Suppose I should do that is equipment, not actions. Sorry. Is using Step of the Wind with a key point, is that an action or a bonus action?
You can use you can use a key point to activate Step of the Wind, which lets you use your dash action as a bonus action instead of an action.
Okay.
So you'll save your action but use your bonus action.
Got it. Okay. Then can I reach anyone without having to expend that?
Where you are, no, you could not.
I didn't think so. If I expend that, can I get to anyone?
That'll give you 60 feet of movement or 80.
I have 40, so 80.
Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, you could get to the guy behind Grizz right here. You could get to him. Either way you went around the tree, but you couldn't get to anyone else.
Okay. I'll do that then, I guess. So I will spend a key point. That's my bonus action, and I'll do a melee weapon strike with my quarterstaff. Just roll for the hit, right?
Yeah, go ahead and make your attack roll.
23.
23 hits.
Yes, okay. And then I guess I'll use 2 hands for it and do the 1d8 plus 3 and roll that, if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely, that makes sense. So you come in with this quarterstaff, whack.
I did 4 damage.
All right, 4 damage. That's this guy. 4 damage as you come in and crack him with the quarterstaff, and he's kind of like, ugh! Not expecting to be snuck up on so quickly. You managed to catch him a bit off guard. Anything else? You've already used your action and bonus action, right?
Correct.
All right, so up next, fella here is going to make a light crossbow attack against Grizz. For a 7. Grizz.
My bad. Sorry. What?
7 to hit.
No.
Okay, the one right next to him is going to make a light crossbow attack against Saru. That's going to be a 21 to hit.
That hits.
Six piercing damage as this bolt comes in and strikes you.
Okay.
All right. After those two, out of this tent, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Then another one comes out of a tent to attack you, swinging a scimitar. For a 5 to hit, so it's not doing great.
That was on me?
On Saru, yes.
Okay. That does not hit. 14, so no.
All right, so he comes in and he swings with the scimitar. You manage to duck out of the way, and you do see that everyone in the camp is now paying attention, and it sounds like there are people inside these tents as well, as you've seen 2 come out already. So there may be quite a bit more people than you thought. Up next, this guy over here will 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 will take cover behind the horse tie-outs and make a crossbow attack at Grizz. Dang it, that is a 7 to hit. I can't roll for anything.
That will not
None of
hit.
us can.
Well, after that boy right there, it is Azriel's turn.
All right, I'm just going to I think I'll hex the one that I attacked last time. Use my first spell slot for it.
Okay, so you're going to go ahead and cast Hex on which one?
The one that I can visually see in range right now. The one that I attacked last time. Yeah, that one.
Okay, so you're going to go ahead and cast Hex on that one. He is hexed. What ability would you like him to not be able or have disadvantage on?
What did we say it was last time? Wisdom? Right, Harley Quinn?
Yeah, wisdom.
Okay, wisdom.
All right, so you reach out with this eldritch magic, this fiendish magic you have, and you place the hex on it, corrupting his mind a bit. Is there anything else you would like to do?
I'm also going to go ahead and hit him with an Eldritch Blast.
Okay, because Hex is a bonus action, right?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead and make your attack roll with Eldritch Blast.
I rolled an 18.
18 hits. Your Eldritch Blast shoots out.
8 plus 6, so 14 damage.
Jeez. You go ahead and you shoot it out, and it's 14 damage, you say?
Yep.
Yeah, so your Eldritch Blast, he's kind of focused, got his arrow trained down on Saru, and this blast like hits him in the side of the head and neck, and it looks like from this distance, it looks like his neck just snaps as it hits, just as he falls to the ground.
Good, good. I still have movement left, right?
Yeah, you haven't moved at all.
Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and move up towards Harley Quinn.
Five, 10, 15, 20, 25. That's how far you can get right now.
Can I go 1 square back and just kind of stand next to him, next to the catapult?
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright, that'll end my turn.
All right. Up next, you see, coming out of this tent, another guy comes behind this horse tie-out to shoot at Grizz. Is probably his easiest target. So this will be at disadvantage because it's out of his crossbow's range. I rolled an 18 and a 2. So with the disadvantage shot, he takes the shot off and it kind of flies past Grizz and into the practice dummy behind him. And he hollers out, "Everyone get out here!" After him, a guy's going to come out of this tent. And he's going to use his entire movement and a dash action to try and close the distance. So he can get to about like right there, but he cannot make an attack this turn. And then after him, these three guys here are going to... They are going to move forward. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So they're going to use their whole movement and action to run over here. That's 1, 2, 3. And then this guy is going to use his entire movement to get closer as well. And then Sarana, who's been standing back this whole time, is probably going to yell out something the likes of, "I don't think this was a very good idea!" And she is going to 5, 10, 15. She's going to try and get a shot through this little gap here at one of the guys attacking Saru. And she hits with a 13 for 5 damage as she gets to that one. As her short bow arrow kind of sticks into his shoulder, and you see now that the mass of people attacking you is much larger than there goes my words again. Much larger than you thought. It seems that there was several more people in this camp, and this lady has summoned more followers to her cause than you had previously believed. After Sarana, actually, another one comes out of this and will use its entire movement to come out. And now it seems you are being bared down on by a whole lot of bandits. Tycho, your turn. Tycho?
I hear you. I'm just trying to think of what to do.
Oof! Yeah, there's a lot more here than what met the eye.
We got him. You definitely just cast a spell at the first one. Fucking it.
Alright, well, since it's all I can do for now, I want to use a bonus action to turn my sorcery points into a temporary spell slot.
Oh, just so you know, with the sorcerer points, you don't make an extra spell slot. You can regain a spell slot that you've already used. So if you already have full spell slots, then you can't, like, get an extra one. You would have to cast a spell and then refill it. I did some reading on that.
That kind of makes sense. So that's my bad. Yep. Can I try to move as close as I can to the sand pit?
Yeah, you're not that far away from it. You can, oh, let me switch tools here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 30 feet will get you about right there.
What's the dexterity saving throw for Ice Knife?
It'll be on your spell save DC.
Saru and Grizz, what's your dexterity?
decent.
Is it above 13?
Well, remember, you
Yeah.
have to roll for that, so it doesn't matter what your ability score is, it's the saving throw you have to roll. And remember that each round is about 6 seconds long, so you can't spend too much time planning once the combat has already started.
I'm just gonna throw a firebolt at one of the bandits near Grizz.
Okay, you're going to go ahead and let off on one of them. Go ahead and make a ranged spell attack for me, my dude.
12. Does 12 hit?
Yes, a 12 hits. Sorry, I had to double check. Yeah, the 12 hits, so go ahead and roll your damage. And you're rolling the one between Saru and Grizz, or the one beside Saru?
The one beside him, and 9 damage.
So you let this firebolt off. And it collides in with this fella. Let me pull the sheet up here. And I believe that one is enough to put this guy down. As you manage to take him out. Is there anything else you would like to do, or is that going to be your turn?
I think that's gonna be my turn.
All right, after you go, another bandit comes out of this tent over here. And he runs up to join the fray, but he uses his full movement and action to get closer. And then another one from over here. And he gets close enough to Saru to make a crossbow attack. For a 13, which does not hit you, does it?
Nope.
Oh my goodness, I am rolling terribly. All right, after him, one comes out of this tent, who runs up to Saru with a scimitar to attack him. For a 17 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
The rough part about being 2 monks. We're the ones that get hit.
Or not Saru, Tycho. My bad. I said the wrong name. It's Tycho is who he ran up to.
He rolled a 17.
Yes.
That does hit.
All right, and you take 5. You take 5 damage as he runs up and slashes you with his scimitar.
That's rude.
It can be, yes. And another one from the tent beside you pops out to make another attack against you. 17 to hit. Does a 17 hit you, Tycho?
Yeah.
Another 6 damage as this one comes and slashes into you with his scimitar. This one appeared to be getting dressed. He's like half dressed. He's got like one boot on and like his pants aren't buttoned. So he's just like holding his pants, running up and slashing into you. We are back to the top of initiative with Grizz.
Alrighty.
How much-
Grizz.
How much did that sword strike do?
That did another 6 damage to Tycho.
Grizz, am I in range of the one attacking Saru?
You would have to move about 5 feet to get to him.
So he's not in opportunity attack range of me.
No, he is not.
Okay, I want to use my movement to get to Tycho.
All right, if that's what you want to do. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35.
Right in the middle of the bandits.
Yeah, 35 will put you right in the middle of those two guys.
All right. This is where I start hitting things. I am going to use a melee attack against the one above me.
Roll it.
13 to hit.
13 hits.
That is for 6 damage. And then I will use... as a bonus action, I will use Hungering Jaws to make a bite attack
Against the same guy?
against the same guy.
Go ahead and roll it.
10.
10's not enough to hit. As you punch him and he kind of keels over, you go in to bite, but he's kind of like, ah, and he kind of like moves out of the way, not wanting to get chomped on by this strange lizard man.
That would be... Yeah, that'll be my turn.
All right, after Grizz is Harlequin.
All right, I want to move up a little further. Probably like right to where like the sand pit starts, but so that I could like see Tycho too. Yeah, like about there. And then I want to cast Sleep on like whatever the best like cluster would be where I could hit the most people.
What's the range of sleep?
90 feet.
On like the... Is it in like a sphere? Or is it creatures you can see?
Oh, it's a sphere of 20 feet.
Okay, so a 20-foot sphere. So like if you put it like here, you could get 5, 10... Is that a radius of 20 feet?
I don't know. It just says range / area.
Yeah, each creature within 20 feet of the point you choose. So if you did it here, in this space, use 5, 10, 15, 20. You could get this guy. You could basically get like this whole group of guy. You could basically get this whole group of guys here if you did it with a range of... If you cast it right in the middle of them, you could get all 5 of these guys if you roll high enough on the dice.
All right. Yeah, I'll try that and see how many I get.
Okay, go ahead and roll it up. And is it saving throws for me, or there's no saving throw, is there?
No, I think it's just your hit points, and I roll 5d8. Uh, 26.
So as you cast out this spell, it's enough to put this one and this one to sleep with 26. These two here will take a night-night. They're not dead, but they are sleeping.
All right, and then for my bonus action, I'm gonna cast Healing Word on Tycho.
Is sleep's a first level spell, isn't it?
Yes.
You
Oh
cannot,
wait, you can't cast. Oh, sorry.
yeah, it has to be, if you have a bonus action spell, you have to cast a cantrip as your other spell as an action.
Okay, then I guess I'll use Bardic Inspiration on Tycho.
Okay, so you shout out to Tycho to inspire him as Grizz has just rushed to his aid with all these people around him.
Yeah.
After... oh, go ahead.
I can't think of anything to say, so we'll just inspire him.
Yeah. You got it, buddy. So, Saru, you are after Harlequin. What do you do?
Okay, so I've got one dude on me, right? So I'm not going to waste my other key point yet, so I'm just going to... I'm going to do an unarmed strike and then another one. So I'll roll for the first one for the hit.
All right.
Hold on, my dice is loading.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Does a 10 hit?
A 10 does not hit, so you reach out to punch this guy and he kind of moves out of the way, but you can still use your bonus action to make your offhand unarmed strike.
No fucking point. It's 7.
Yeah, so again, he kind of like is bobbing and weaving, ducking back and forth from your blows. And actually, he is up next and is going to make an attack against you for a 15 to hit.
Fucking course he hits me.
And that will do 6 damage as his sword slashes into you.
Okay.
After him, these two fellas here are each going to make crossbow attacks against... One's going to make it against Grizz, and the other one's going to make it against Harlequin. So Grizz... 21 to hit Grizz.
Nah, totally doesn't. Yeah, it hits me.
8 damage. And then a 10 to hit Harlequin.
That's a miss.
Yeah, so as these two guys bring their crossbows up again, their hand crossbows, boom, boom. They shoot out, and one of them sticks into Grizz's, kind of like scrapes his shoulder. He's like, ah! And then another one flies right past Harlequin's head. And after that, it is this guy, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, who's going to come here, and he's going to make a crossbow attack against Harlequin as well. For a dirty 20 to hit.
That hits.
7 damage as this bolt comes in, sticks into your leg. After him, this guy here is going to make an attack against Saru for a 7 to hit.
That misses.
Azriel, you are up in this very hairy situation that you guys have found yourself in.
I'm going to go ahead and move up and stand next to Harlequin again.
5, 10, 15, 20. 20 feet to get you about right there.
As a bonus action, I'm going to cast Hex on the one closest to me, but not on top of Grizz there. That's Grizz, right? Or is that Sorrow?
Grizz is just above you. Sorrow is below you.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast Hex as a bonus action on the one closest to me that's not next to Sorrow. Yep,
So this
one.
guy right here. All right, cool. You cast Hex on that one?
Yep.
as a bonus action, and then would you like to make an action, or will that be your turn?
How much damage has the one next to Sorrow taken?
He doesn't look injured.
Can I go ahead and charm him from my second spell slot?
Is Hex a first level or Hex is just a warlock thing, right? It's not a spell slot.
Hex is a spell slot, but it says I can recast it as a bonus action if the person that was hexed dies. That doesn't take up a second spell slot, does it?
Does it say you can move the Hex or recast the Hex?
The target drops 0 hit points before the spell ends. You can use a bonus action on a subsequent turn of yours to curse a new creature.
Okay, so that doesn't count as a spell slot. It's just moving the curse. So yeah, absolutely, you can cast. You want to cast Charm?
Yeah, it's a 30-foot range. I'm pretty sure I'm in range, right?
Yes, and I'm pretty sure this person has advantage because you were in fighting them in combat.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and he has to roll for Wisdom for 15.
I got an 18, so you let out this magic as it tries to coalesce over it. You see his eyes go glossy for a minute, and he kind of shakes it off like, ugh, no! And he darts daggers at you.
Alright, I guess that's my turn.
All right, and now, let's see here. These guys here. Let's see here. This one's gonna move forward. He's gonna move to about here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So the only person in range is Saru, so he's gonna take a crossbow attack at him. For a freaking 11 to hit.
Missed.
And then the rest of these guys are basically just gonna follow suit because there's 5 more before one of you goes again. One of them is asleep, so it's not that bad. But these 4 here are basically, they're just gonna move up and position themselves. 10, 20, 25, 30. 10, 20, 25, 30. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that one's asleep, so there. All right, so all of them except this one back here. So 3 of them. One's going to make attack against Saru, one's going to make attack against Azriel, and one's going to make an attack against Harley Quinn. So, Saru up first. 13 to hit.
Misses.
All right, Azriel. Nat 20.
Ouch.
All right, let me go ahead and roll that. Crossbow, so D8. 10 damage. Harlequin, a 9, so that one will not hit you. So through all of them, The last one is too far away to attack, and the other one is asleep. So that brings it down to Sarana, who's still back in the wood line, and at this point is yelling, "Maybe we should run away!" As she's going to make a short bow attack against the one Saru is fighting. For a 12, which is just enough to hit. For a solid 3 damage. And that one's asleep. Tycho.
I'm going to use Magic Missile on the bandit on... Well, I think on on Grizz's left?
Yeah, so... this one? Hello?
Yes.
The one on Grizz's left, so the one right here? This one here?
Yeah.
Alright, you're gonna use all 3 magic missiles on them?
I'll use 2. Yeah.
Alright, so you let out 3 there. Go ahead and roll that up for me.
11 damage.
So you let out these magic missiles very close range. These silver spears coalesce from the ends of your draconic claws as you throw them forward as they impact. And 3 of them just... And the last one kind of hits him in the neck, and you hear like a crunch as he falls to the ground. Ah! As he falls to the ground. Deadzo. All right, after that, this guy here is gonna 5, 10, make a ranged crossbow attack against Grizz. That's a 22 to hit.
Yeah, it hits.
For 3 damage. Thump. As it shoots into you.
And Grizz is down.
Yeah, that's rough, buddy. After him, then this guy standing next to Grizz is going to turn around and not punch. So used to Grizz punching. He's going to slash at Tycho with his sword. For a 14 to hit.
That misses.
Oh, you freaking monks and dragon scales and your low-level high AC. All right, and then it is, if my memory serves me correct, Grizz, go ahead and make a death savings throw, my dude. First death savings throw, isn't it?
The campaign, I believe so.
It might be. Maybe, I think, did Saru have to make one, or did you get him up in time when you fought the Griffin?
Oh, we got him up in time.
Got him up in time.
Yeah, so this will be your first death savings throw. Go ahead and make her a roll.
14.
All right, 14 passes. You have 1 successful death savings throw. Harlequin, it is your turn.
All right. All right. Is there anything between me and Grizz?
No, there is nothing. There's 10 feet of air and opportunity.
All right. I'm gonna run over to him and cast Cure Wounds.
All right, so you run over to Grizz. Right there. And you cast Cure Wounds on him, so you can go ahead and roll up that 1d8 plus your spellcasting modifier, correct?
Yes, and I got a 10.
All right, Grizz. You feel the life rush back into your body. Your eyes flutter open, looking up at this leather-clad figure that is attacking Tycho now. You are still prone, but you are awake. Harlequin, unless you have anything else.
I'm gonna use Bardic Inspiration on what's his name? Saruo, if he's in range.
He should be. It's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, he's like 30 feet away, 35. So, yeah, you should be able to inspire him. So, if you have, yeah. So, Saru, you now have a Bardic Inspiration, and it is your turn.
Okay. Looking at my position, looking where everyone else is situated. I'm not going to be able to fight the people next to me. I don't care how lucky I would need to be on the rolls. I'm not doing that. So I'm going to use my last key point to do Step of the Wind. And I'm going to literally run as far as I can.
You're just
Closer
gonna.
to my allies as possible.
So, are you using it to dash, or are you using it to disengage?
What's the difference?
Disengage means you can run away without them getting an attack of opportunity. Dash means it doubles your movement speed.
Disengage.
Okay. So you're running towards your allies?
Yes.
All right. So you disengage, you kind of fake like you're going to run one way, and then dart back the other. That's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 30 feet will get you standing right next to Harlequin right there.
Okay.
And yeah, it seems like these guys are closing in. Anything else you would like to do?
Would I be able to move? God, it's really pixelated for me. Can I move one square up next to Harley and under, I think, Tycho?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Right there.
I don't think I have anything else unless... No, I can't throw a dart as a bonus action, so no, I'm good.
All right, so up next, this here group 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, and they was from over here. There's so many. It's hard for me to keep track. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, yeah. So these 4 are gonna let off. One's gonna attack Azriel. One's gonna attack Harlequin. One's gonna attack Grizz, and one is going to. Actually, 2 of them are going to attack Harlequin because they saw him heal. So, Azriel's going to get 1, Harlequin 2, Grizz 1. So, first attack against Azriel. 16 to hit.
That hits.
7 damage.
I am done.
Harlequin. 9 to hit?
Nope.
Second one. 19 to hit.
Yeah.
7 damage. And then 1 against Grizz. 18 to hit.
That hits.
6 damage. God, the way he's looking at me, I can't do it. Azriel, it is your turn. If you are down, that means you need to make a death savings throw.
So how do I do that on this? Just roll a normal d20?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just a flat
It's
D20.
just a straight D20 roll. And don't worry, if you fail one, it's not a super big deal.
I rolled 12.
Yep, so that's a success. You have 1 successful death savings throw. Oh, man. Up next, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are all just going to use all their movement to surround you. They all surround you like that, and they draw their crossbows, and they demand that you surrender, but they use their full actions to move that far. Up next is, after all of them, is Sarana, and she, the little hero that she is going to 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Let's see, what does she do? From here, she is going to cast... she comes around the corner and she sees Azrael laying on the ground, and she kind of drops to her knees, and she starts saying, and she starts just calling out like, no, this can't be happening. Don't die. You have to get up. And, ooh, wow. As she says this, she starts calling out these words. Her hair begins to glow. Those golden eyes flash gold and then red. And, Azrael, you have 1 hit point.
Woo!
You are still prone, and I'd say Harlequin would probably be the only one that would have seen this. As she started screaming, you would have had the line of sight to turn around and see her, and you saw her hair glow and her eyes flash, and then you saw a breath of life flow in to Azrael. But after this happens, Sarana, like, collapses to her side, like she looks exhausted. After that, that one's... see, sleepy time. So the last of the bandits will, except for the ones that are sleeping, will circle around you. And they basically all have their crossbows out now. And they demand you surrender or pay the price. Tycho, it's your turn.
I am just going to be surrendering because we're obviously outnumbered.
Yeah, okay. So, Tycho kind of puts his hands up and he's like, "All right, guys, surrender." How do you say it? I don't want to put the words in your mouth, but how do you announce to the party that it's time to surrender? Azrael's laying on the ground bloody with 1 hit point, so I think she might be cool with it, but I don't want to speak for Zach either.
Sorry, what?
She's fine. But I just generally announce that we're obviously a little hurt and overwhelmed, so maybe we should just, just surrender.
Well, it is now on Tycho's turn, where the group must decide what they're gonna do.
Well, I look over at Sarana, because I guess I was the only one that could see it, and I informed them, like, yeah, she's down, like, we're all gonna be down. Like, we need to just cut our losses and see where this goes.
Well, we don't have to surrender. I
Here.
have one more trick under my sleeve.
You're on the ground, homie.
Oh, did I get knocked down again?
You're still on the ground. You didn't get up.
Yeah, you have
Yeah,
1
I have
hit
one
point,
hit
but
point
you're
now.
still laying down prone.
Yeah, but I could stand up, right? And still
On your
get the ball.
turn.
Yeah, I know. That's
When
what
it
I'm
gets to
saying.
your turn. If we live before it gets to your turn.
I'm just saying about 3 bandits are going to go again before one of you guys does, because the way the initiative works. I've already moved them, but that's basically what they were going to do on their turn. But the 3 that are closest to you would be the next 3 to go. And if you guys don't surrender, it looks like they're just going to mollywop you. But hey, I'm not here to make your decisions, man.
Doesn't have to be unanimous.
Jesus Christ.
I don't think it has to be unanimous.
Dead ass.
They can take Ezreal.
Oh, come on, guys.
I was saying I do have a trick under my sleeve if I could make it to my turn, but
I don't want to risk
if
it.
it's not, we might just have to, yeah.
So you guys surrender?
Yeah, if they don't kill
Looks
us.
like it.
Okay, so as you guys begin to surrender, you are rounded up, you are tied up. All your weapons are taken, any spellcasting focuses are taken. You are left with only your clothes. And the one who was standing outside of the tent with this wonderful woman that you guys love so much informs you that she will speak to you when she returns. And that is where we are going to end the session. What's going to happen? Yeah, guys, that was yeah, honest, maybe the DM was hoping you'd try some cool stealthy shit and not just walk in and start blasting shit around.
I fucking was.
That was the plan until
Yeah, that was the original plan. And then Tycho was just like, nah, I got this, hold up here.
Nah, hold on. Let me step on this twig.
Yeah, don't you dare.
Well, to
put
be
it all
fair,
on-
before you stepped on the twig, he wanted to set the tent on fire. But I'm never gonna tell you guys that you flat out can't do something, especially if it's in like plan making or role playing. I was really hoping that you would try and like sneak around and stuff. But I mean,
Maybe we should try that route next time.
well, next time I guess it's gonna be figuring out how you get out of this mess, because yeah, you are officially captured, but it's not a TPK, so the campaign continues. So there's 13 of them left, including the 2 sleeping guys. There were 19 bandits in this camp.
A lot more than the 9 we were looking at.
Yes, absolutely. I made this encounter the day after our last session. Because I was like, let's see what they do.
So I was keeping track of everyone's. Was at 4. Azrael was at 1 because he got healed. Harley was at 3. Tycho was at 3, and Saru was at 5.
Hence why I was about to use that key point to literally fucking book it.
I was gonna be right behind you.
Just so you guys know, I am not an evil DM. I will not make a fight just to murder you. There were, like, surrendering was absolutely in my notes for this fight. Like, if the party engages the full camp, it would be wise of them to surrender once they're overpowered. And then there were also ways to get around the camp with stealth checks and sneaking and stuff like that, or drawing them out one at a time. You know, I just don't want you guys think. I don't want you guys to think that I'm just like gonna constantly throw battles at you that you can't win. There were a whole bunch of different ways around this. But I mean, sometimes the choices we make don't pan out. Sometimes we roll shit on a stealth check and someone rolls a nat 20 on their perception like Homeboy did. But
The luck of the roll.
yeah, I don't want you guys to think that I'm like trying to kill you in a fight. I'm not.
I've seen that from a DM, so you're good.
Well, also, I'm like, I didn't think it was like, would we really go around the camp and like do like Assassin's Creed style? Like, I don't think that would be like how we would roll at this point. I mean, we're not like that big of like a team yet.
Yeah, I mean, and it's absolutely do what your character would do, you know? It's just when I made this encounter, when I made this battle map, when I wrote up all the notes for it, I was like, here's a list of 7 different ways this could go depending on what the party does.
And we went with the way that got our asses kicked.
To be honest, the way I would have played it, but I didn't know if it would have worked, is I would have probably stealthed out and avoided the early part of the battle, which I've done in other similar type games to engage later, but I didn't know if that was doable or viable.
What you did was, I mean, it was a legitimate plan. Like, if you would have snuck around and caught that tent on fire, then yeah, the people would have ran over there, and you probably could have investigated the other tents or stole some shit or tried to get some information. Like, it wasn't a terrible plan, you know, like, but, you know, I mean, it happens. Now, I mean, some sessions go pretty crap, but at the end of the day, remember, it's not a TPK, so it's a win.
Plus, my favorite trope is like the prison break thing, so I'm kind of excited.
I'm actually excited to see how you guys pull it off as well, because beginning with next session, there will be a conversation. There will be a conversation. Ah. I'm totally messing up the stream over here. Yeah, Ariandar will be talking to you at the beginning of the next session. But good session, guys. I was pushing the wrong button. Good session, guys. Even though the combat didn't turn out, you know, your role playing and talking with the town was still, you know, really cool. I enjoyed it, and yeah, we'll see where it goes from here. Anyone have anything they would like to plug before we sign off?
Just same as last time. Gami Games with 2 S's at the end on Twitch.
All right, Gami Games, 2 S's at the end. That's twitch.tv/Gami Games, GAMIGAMESS. Anyone else?
Nope.
Nope.
Negative.
Nope.
All right, you can find me on twitch.tv/Moriarty Games. So Moriarty is spelled under my picture. Games with a Z. GAMEZ. And just Moriarty on all streaming platforms if you want to listen to my music. Like I said, it's not for all, but it's for some. And yeah, no, thank you again for tuning in to The Realms of Telea, a 5th edition campaign. And I'm super excited for the next campaign and how the party's going to get out of this. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Bye.
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 See ya.